Hello everyone. In the previous lecture, we saw how we can remove rows from the data while importing it into Power BI desktop, and that was a part of transformation we did in Power Query Editor. Now, uh, we will be doing the consolidation of the previous video, that is the removal of rows, and we will be adding. We will be seeing how we can add the first row as header. To do so, we will be getting the data first, and again I will be using the web as the data connection source. If you are new to the channel, then you can go back to my previous videos and see how we can add or import the data into Power BI desktop, how Power BI works and what's the workflow of it. So you can go through it and start going through it. Now I will be choosing my table and I'll be clicking on transform data. Now we are in the Power Query Editor, which is a separate window from Power BI desktop, but this Power Query Editor window is the part of Power BI desktop only. Now, as we see that the first row in our data is blank row, it includes only null and blank values, right? So that is of no use for us. So we can remove this first row. For this, we will be using our home tab, and under this home tab, we have remove rows option here. So under this remove option, we have few other options to remove rows from top, from bottom, alternate rows. As we know that this is the first row, we have to remove from top. So we will be choosing remove top rows option. It will be asking us to specify the number of rows to remove from the top. So we have only one row to remove. So I'll be specifying only one. Then click on OK. It will remove your first row. Now we want our newly added as the first row to the to be specified as header. Now, we have under the home tab, we have under the transform section, we have use first row as header option. So select this option, and again it will ask you two options: first row as header. So you have to first first row as header here. If you choose that option, you will be observed that your first row now has been added as a header. Now you can remove rows from the bottom. As we know that US has only 51 rows, and others are like territories or other regions. So we can remove the rows from bottom. For that, under the home tab, you can go to remove rows here, and this time you have to choose remove bottom rows, because we have to remove bottom rows here. So for that, just choose remove bottom rows. Again the same thing, it will ask you to specify the number of rows you need to remove from bottom. So I have to specify 26 rows and click on OK. You will now observe that we have 51 rows and 10 columns, right? So we have seen how we can remove rows and how we can add first row as header. Now, if you want to revert back any of the steps from these, you can just go here and click on the cross button, and it will ask you some confirmation. You can just delete it, right? You can just delete it. That step will be reverted. Now I am just repeating. Under the home tab, you can choose first use first row as header option to specify the first row as your header. So I am choosing this option, and among those two options, I'm using use first row as headers here, and it will specify my first row as header here. Now, to load these changes into Power BI desktop, use close and apply button under this home tab, and once you click on this option, it will start applying your changes and load your data into Power BI desktop. Your transform data is loaded here, And now you have, if you observe under this table view, you have 51 rows now, right, till this state. And the first row we have specified as the header is now our